Hi everyone. I thought I'd share with you how this little mini 75% sized flopsy is coming along. You can see I was working on the nose. I used some of this, what is it, pearl cotton. I don't know what size it is, size 8. I was just about to do the mouth and then I thought, oh, this nose is a little bit crooked, but that's okay. Adds to the character. And then I got the eyes ready. So a little tip with the eyes is make sure when you're getting your threads for your eyes, pick an upholstery thread, something strong, like a nylon thread that won't break when you pull it. And then you're going to attach your eyes like this. Look at these cute little eyes, these little blue 5mm eyes. They look like this. I love these ones that have the pre-crimped wire back. I don't know if you can see how I tied the thread there. So I've got 2 strands coming this way. And then all I do is, where is that other eye gone? One good thing about having the eyes attached to the threads is when they start rolling around, they're a little easier to hang on to. And all I do is I kind of hold them where I think it looks really cute, like that. A little hard to do this on video, but then I just take the awl, and I know this looks mean, and I make a small little hole right where I think the eye's gonna go. Okay, and then I insert both eyes in there and I see if I like it. All right, so carrying on with this, I've made 2 little holes here, you can see, and I've just sort of popped the back of the wire shank in just to check the eye placement. Whoops. Ooh, got oil on my hands, so it's a little bit slippery. So pop them in. I've lost the hole. You don't want to make a big hole because you may want to move the eye slightly, and that way you're just sort of pushing the fibers apart and not making a gigantic hole. Now, you can see when you look at this, they're a little bit off. Now, when they get attached, they will sink in a little bit, but I feel like this one's too far over and they need to just go down and in a little bit. Most people put the eyes up too high and too close together, so I kind of like them lower and farther apart, so when they get pulled in they look just right to me. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pull these back out like this, move my holes a little bit till I get them just right, and then I'll show you how I attach them for the final placement. Okay, well, I've still been moving around playing with the eyes. I'm not totally happy with them. You can see if you turn the little doll upside down and you look at the eyes, sort of the center of the head and the nose, is one eye a little lower, a little closer in or not? It kind of gives you an idea if what's a little bit off or not. I think I like this slightly lower and wider eye, so I'll probably move this one down just like a few fibers, just a little lower and a little out. And also another trick I do is I use these little curved scissors. I buy little cuticle scissors, and they're ideal for getting some of the fur out of the way, which kind of blocks the view of the eye. And it's really fun to trim a little bit behind the eyes and add a little bit of expression. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move that eye over a little bit, and then we will attach them. Usually I attach the eye that I like the most first, and then I make sure once it's in that the other one looks even. All right, now it's a little confusing because I haven't finished this little nose outlining and mouth yet, so this thread is still hanging here on its needle. But let's say we're happy with the eye placement, and now we want to attach the eyes permanently. So what we do is we take these 2 threads that we had tied to the back of the eye, and we take a long 3.5, 4-inch dull sculpting needle, and we thread both ends onto needle like that. And then what we do is we pull the eye out, and exactly where that hole is, right there where that eye was, we go in with the needle So keep your needle there in that exact same hole and come out at the lower back of the head, just above the eye joint. Sorry, not the eye joint, the neck joint where you're going to hide your knots. So you see how I've pulled that through? And when you do both eyes, you'll have threads sticking out of the back like that. So take a look at that. So those are in. Then I just wrap my fingers around these little threads. So when I kind of help them sink into the head, I'm not putting all the weight onto the eyes. So I'm kind of shaping it. I'm helping push them in while I make sure they're sunk in like that. And I think it's going to be really cute. Probably do a little bit more trimming by that fur because it's blocking some of the eye. But I think that looks pretty even, pretty nice. Has character. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing's perfect. And then to secure them on, what I do is I just turn the little dolly over, and I wonder if I can show you this. If you rest on there, is you take, let's say, these two threads here. You thread from one eye, and you thread one of the strands onto a small needle like that. You go right in where you came out of and just take a tiny little stitch over, like about that much. So now you can see you've got these two threads slightly separated from one eye. I'm going to push it in nice and tight, and then I'm going to do a puppet knot. So a puppet knot is just wrapping your ends 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. And then when you pull it like that, get the little pile out of the knot so we can hide it. You're going to pull this while pushing on the eye, and it sinks it in really nicely without stressing the eye. Gives it such a cute little look. Look at that. All right. And then I just leave that for a second. Get all the pile out. Leave that a second. I'll do that again to secure it, but first I'll go to the other side, the other eye where the 2 threads are, and I'll do the same thing. I'll take one of the strands, thread it onto the onto the smaller needle. I'll go in right where I came out. Hopefully this is showing on this video. It's really hard to do things on video. I don't know how people do it. Take a there we go. We take a tiny little stitch over. Where did I go in? Right there. Just a tiny stitch. So we have these 2 strands coming from the one eye here, slightly separated. Okay, dolly, stay put. Right. So here they are, like that. Pushing on the eye again, help it sink in gently, give those a pull. Lovely. Now we're going to do that puppet knot again. So we just take the strands, we wrap it once, twice, 3 times, and it does this lovely little locking knot. Again, we're going to get the pile unstuck from underneath here so we can hide that knot. We're going to help that eye sink in and tighten. Okay, there we go. Looking, oh my goodness. Sinking in pretty nicely. I like it. More trimming needed. It's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to keep that. So to finalize it, this one looks a little lower. It's not bad. Okay, so to finalize it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this again and do the final puppet knot. Okay? Nice and sunk. So we wrap it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Pull it. Nice and tight. Get out the fiber from the knot to hide where it is, like that. Give it one last tug. I don't know if any of this is discernible from what I'm doing here, but that's that. And then to hide the ends, I just bury them into the head. So make a little knot. I thread it. There we go. Go right in where it came out, like that. All right, get rid of that end, pop that knot through. Boom. So, of course, I'll do that. I'll hide that end. I'll do the extra, like the second puppet knot on this side, hide the ends, and the eyes will be attached. Voila.